All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Currency Call by Forex Trading Asia. And thanks again to everyone that joined in the call last night as well. It was quite the call as well for some live trades, and I hope everyone took a lot out of that as well. So it is episode 396, and it's the 14th of October already. And if it is your first time here as well, a big welcome and hi to all the regulars as well. This is the Currency Call, and we do this every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. GMT +8. And the currencies we analyze are as follows. On Monday, we do the Aussie and Kiwi. Tuesday, the Euro. Wednesday, the Pound. Today, Thursday, will be Yen and Gold. And then tomorrow for Friday will be CAD and Crypto. This is the Currency Call where you'll get the market economic updates, the key support and resistance levels, trade ideas, and much more. And this Currency Call will be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and the short-term traders. And here we will go through what could move prices, the possible trade ideas, and we'll also highlight the potential targets and risks for those trades. A disclaimer as well, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades as well. So just to start things off, we did have the inflation data as well out last night, and I'll just go through the US dollar index just to see what happened and how the price action reacted to. So I've just got the 1 hour time frame up here thanks to Samtrade. And as you can see, the inflation data was pretty much in line with expectation as well, which meant that trading it was a little bit challenging as well, but there were some opportunities. And we did see the US dollar pull back as well. Now, if you were watching the Currency Call on Monday, we did touch upon the resistance level at 73.95 on the Aussie dollar as well. We did have the employment data out earlier this morning as well, so we'll see what the Aussie wants to do. It did pretty much touch that, and it was an open short I took. So let's just see how that plays out if you are in that. But in regards to the US dollar index as well, it has respected that 94 level, and we're at a point where it looks like it's coming back down again to test that as well. So from a technical standpoint, we're sort of mid-range between this 94.50 and then we're down to around 93.70 or so. So we are, sold off a little bit after those results. And I just want to quickly go to the economic calendar as well, thanks to Forex Trading Asia, and just touch upon what exactly happened last night and what I'm looking at for later today as well. So as you can see, everything did pretty much come in line. We had the core CPI year on year and the core CPI month on month in line with expectations. And then the CPI month on month was a little bit higher than expected, but frustratingly, it just wasn't high enough to see some decent pushing through 94.50 for the US dollar. And we did see it pull back as well. But we had the FOMC meeting minutes out as well, and I will touch upon that. I've got an article up here to briefly go over. But just for tonight, we still do have a little bit of US news as well. I'll leave the Japanese news for shortly with Jin. We've got tonight, 8:30 GMT +8, the PPI for September, expected to be slightly down on the previous month, 0.6%. And then we've also got FOMC member Bostic speaking and the core PPI as well. So if this is, elevated, it just means that there are, more expenses with producing things as well in simple terms. So that's, if that does exceed expectations, it's just adding to that narrative of this asset purchasing taper has to happen sooner rather than later. And I'll just quickly go to the article as well. So this is shared on Forex Trading Asia as well. And it's a nice way to start the day just to go through what happened overnight, especially if you're in a similar time zone. And some key points here from the article essentially is that, how things are progressing. They are discussing about potentially, mid-November when things could take place. And, what I took from this was the features of the monthly reductions, around 10 billion in the purchases of treasury securities and 5 billion in the purchase of agency mortgage-backed securities. So they're gradually looking to decrease. It's currently at 120 billion per month is what is currently at. So they are looking potentially the beginning or even the mid-November or mid-December to start the process. So we'll just have to wait and see how that all transpires. US dollar still hovering around 94 as well. And I'll just quickly go back to the charts too. And again, guys, feel free to ask any questions too. We do have, it's a pretty big week as well for news. And what I was looking at as well, the equity markets did move a little bit higher too last night. So they're taking what they saw there and saying, okay, things aren't out of control. So it's an interesting point now if we see some carry on or if we see things flatten out and even maybe pull back for tomorrow. So it might be flat today and then we might see, if we do see a pullback tomorrow, and this US dollar holds around 94, that could offer some trend continuation with the majors, because we have seen some strength against the US dollar. So 94 holds into tonight, that would be a good sign for potentially a bit more of a rally, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But those are my thoughts on the US dollar index as well. Now, we do have the yen and gold in focus today as well with Jindal Tai, multi-million-dollar trader. And I'll just check, everyone's just saying hi as well. Good to see you back again, Gary, too. And I think Im Hong will be back tomorrow, I'm assuming, to go through the FOMC stuff. But we do have Jin now with the yen and gold pairs for you guys, so enjoy.
Thank you, Scott. Scott, can you do me a favor and put up the YouTube link for this our channel or whatever it is? And if everyone else who is on the call, you can do me another big favor, is to click on the link and go click subscribe, and do share out the videos as we launch them and as we put them up online. That would help us massively. All right, so with that said, we are looking at the yen pairs today. So the US yen, the euro yen, and the pound yen. This is, for those of you who attended a live trading session last night, we did talk about this quite a bit in detail. This is a bit of an update of the possible trade ideas to add on to that. And I will also be talking about gold, which we have been looking at last night as well. So straight up, first things I do whenever I look at a possible trade ideas is to check out the news. Today being Thursday, we had the FOMC meeting minutes like Scott was sharing. We've had the Aussie employment numbers came out a bit of a mixed bag, but we did see some upside to the Aussie dollar because of this unemployment rate going from a expected 4.8 to a 4.6. So it still was slightly worse than previous, but not as bad as they expected. So we saw some upward move on the Aussie dollar, but I think that it's also, the upward move is also driven by the US dollar weakening in the interim, right? So with that said, we do have a lot of other news for the Eurozone, individual countries, and also the Eurozone members speaking, the ECB members speaking. With the focus, what you should be looking at for tonight is the jobless claims numbers. This is a weekly number, so don't expect big movements there, but it's possibly looking at a slight improvement, looking to go from a 326K to a 319. So some improvements there, but I don't think this would swing the US dollar back massively. Following on from that, what else we have? Tomorrow we have some Japan data being released, but these are not big price movers again. The main thing for Friday would be the retail sales number for the US. And look at this, looking to go from a 0.7% to a minus 0.2%. and the core retail sales looking to drop month on month from 1.8 to a 0.5%. So what all this means put together, I would contradict Scott a little bit. He might not be very happy, but I'll contradict Scott a little bit here and actually say that on the dollar index, looking at it on the H4 time frame, I think that we might see some further downside. Sitting at the 94 level now, I think that we might see it test a little bit lower, possibly even to that 93.80. So just a bit lower to find a base or to test lower before bouncing back up towards that 94.50 resistance again. So I think that we might see a bit of a consolidation now, but might see some drop, especially given that we anticipate retail sales number to go to possibly that minus 0.2%. We anticipate that core retail sales dropping from a 1.8 to a 0.5. If that does come out, then expect a bit of a weakness in the dollar so that we can see that drop a little bit before possibly pushing back up as they talk about taper, as they talk about possible monetary policy adjustments. So what do you expect? What should you expect with a bit of a dollar weakness? Dollar weakness would likely push, for example, the euro dollar up above this 1.16 resistance level. It might push the pound dollar a little bit higher. With that pushing the pound dollar and the euro dollar a little bit higher, this would give us very good opportunities on both the pound yen and the euro yen. So I'm jumping the sequence a little bit. I'll look at the pound yen first. Pound yen sitting at this 155.17 level, very close to this resistance of 155.63. Why do I have a 155.63? If I zoomed out to the daily time frame, you can see the last time we were at this point was back in early this year. So, and also what you should note is that the last time it came towards that 155.63 level, it hit, set in consolidation and broke back downwards, rejected that level and went back downwards. So be very careful. I wouldn't be looking to trade this, that 50, 60 pips towards the upside, towards that resistance, thinking that I can make some profit there. I would rather let it climb up towards that resistance and see what happens. The most likely scenario is for it to come up, sit in consolidation and possibly break downwards. But I think we could also be looking for further upside from this 155.63. Also because, I want to be a bit more trend following. I don't want to go counter trend. So I wouldn't be suggesting to sell at that resistance. What you could be looking for is buying opportunities above 155.63. So you're looking at about that 60 pip move upwards, break above that point, close, and then you can be looking for that upside. What's a good profit potential? Looking at the weekly time frame here, we can see that the last time we broke above that point, it went towards 161. So a lot of upside potential. There you go. A lot of upside potential, but I think that to expect a trade to climb straight up a good 400 something pips is possibly almost ridiculous. So I think that breaking above 155.63, what you would have is a big stop loss at about 80 pips, possibly a bit too big. Hang on. I would say you'll be looking at about a 50 pip stop loss. Then you'll be looking at a 1:2, at least a 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the upside. 100 pips would bring you about, no, I think you do more than 100 pips. 150 pips will bring you to about 157, about 157.50. So this would be one of those trades that is worth sitting there, worth waiting for, not something that will happen quickly or immediately. It will take time to go up, test at 155.63, take time to break above that point. But if that does happen, if it does break above, then we're looking at a very good risk reward ratio towards the upside. 50 pips stop loss, 150 pip take profit, back up towards the 157.50. Bear in mind, multi-year high level, which would also mean that there's going to be a lot of volatility as it breaches into that stratosphere there. So be very careful, but also a very attractive trade idea for the pound yen. With that said, the euro yen is a bit would require a bit less weighting. It is very close to the resistance of 131.74. I think that a very close, about a 40 pip move upwards, and you can be looking to buy. So above 131.87, above 131.87, you could be looking at a 30-40 pip stop loss for a good 100 and even 160 pip take profit level towards the upside. You can make all that decision in the middle of when to close out that trade, or even just hold on to it and check back in the next couple of days or a week's time to see whether how close is it towards that 133.66. This resistance level, again, as I zoom out, was last visited in May this year. So if I were to rank the pound yen or the euro yen, I'll rank the euro yen a lot higher than the pound because it's closer to that resistance. We're not at the ultimate high point. We do have that the recent May high point to reach. So it could work something like what happened in early May where it broke above. You can see it test a bit before climbing straight up towards that resistance level. So again, above a 131.90 level or 131.80 level, you're looking at a 30-40 pip stop loss for a very good 160 pip take profit up towards the 133.66 resistance level. Okay, so quite a number of trade ideas here on the yen pairs. The US yen, unfortunately, looks the least attractive at this point. I do think that it will break above 113.76 because of the way it's been trending. But with that dollar weakness, that possible dollar weakness, we could see it temper a little bit because with the dollar weakness, we might see it drag down. But also with euro yen, pound yen shooting towards the upside, possible upside, might drag it up. Another thing that I want to share with you is that why I'm a little bit more positive about the yen moving towards the upside is a news article that I just read just this morning, was that the senior Japanese MP is saying that a weak yen is beneficial for the economy. It boosts its competitiveness. And based on my own trading experience, the last time was not an MP, but last time the central banker came out and said a weak yen is good. I traded the yen all the way up towards that 125.50 resistance level. So, the last time that happened, we saw it shoot upwards. Now it's being said not by the central banker, but by an MP. So that's also the reason why we saw that yen is barely responsive at this point. But I think that if this sentiment or if this view is translated throughout the government and possibly towards the central bank, then we could see further weakening in the yen pairs. So we could see that upside come quite true and quite likely. So coming back to the charts here again, with the US yen said, the euro yen with that high likelihood potential towards the upside, the pound yen with a bit more waiting to do, but good upside as well. What could translate is we've seen the gold. I normally look at it on a daily time frame. We were anticipating for it to be resisted at this 1777 level. It didn't get resisted. It has broken through. I think that we are still looking at it possibly with a bit of a retrace. So this is now invalid. I think that we're going to see a bit of a retrace back down to test this 1777 before possibly going back up again. My view with how I trade gold or how I manage gold positions is I'm looking for buying opportunities only. I don't like to trade it downwards and then back up again and all kinds of trades. I'm looking for positions to buy and hold for the longer term. So I don't do short-term gold trades. What I would be looking for here is for it to come back down, test 1777 before that bounce off, and looking for that buying opportunity above 1777. So with all of that said, a lot of trade ideas, especially on the yen pairs towards the upside. Bear in mind that if you're going to be jumping into all those trades, manage your risk very closely. We are seeing significant high points in the yen pairs, which would mean a lot of volatility. In the likelihood that if you were to keep your stops very tight, if you were to trade too big, which will require you to keep your stop loss very tight, then the likelihood is that you're going to get stopped out because of volatility, and then it continues shooting upwards. So manage your trade sizes, possibly even size down a little bit so that you can have a bit more of a comfortable stop loss to be able to sit through that fluctuations or that volatility, and then you could see that sit through and wait for that upward move on the yen pairs and the yen pairs in general. With that said, I'll pass it back to you, Scott.
All right, thanks, Jen. And guys, just in the chat as well, I've just shared the trade ideas as well with the levels to watch out for, and also the potential entries and the stop loss placement and take profit as well. But like Jen mentioned as well, we've just got to be a little bit patient, and it's quite volatile right now as well with the situation. Also, I have shared, and I'll share that again, this is the link for the YouTube channel as well. So it's really just worth checking this out. Everything's posted as well. I'll just quickly share it as well, just so in case someone's a little bit curious into what it's looking like now. So we're climbing with the subscribers as well. That's the live call, so feel free to click that and share it as well. Share it around, and it can really help people just if they're looking to learn how to trade Forex. We've got the complete 4-day Forex Kickstarter as well. So this used to be several $1,000s and now it's up as well. So there's no excuse not to check it out. Quite a lot of content there. It's all broken down as well and titled with episode numbers. So you can, catch up if you can't watch the whole series at once. And then we've also got the longer versions as well. We've got some more educational material here too. We've got an explanation about what the LCMS Traders Club is too. And again, that link is for the 1 month free trial. And then we've got some testimonials as well for the Forex Briefcase Managed Account as well, which has been chugging along really nicely this year and the previous year, and also in 2019 too. So I'll leave a link now for that too. But I would say if you can't catch all the material, this is the way to go, is to check it out, and then also get yourself into the Traders Club as well. So I'll just share the link now for that, for Forex Briefcase 2. Check out the link there, leave your details, and we'll get back to you. But that's about it, guys. Really, we appreciate everyone coming on and asking questions and giving feedback as well. And we'll see what today brings, and see everyone tomorrow for the CAD and cryptocurrency.
A lot of possible good trade idea on the CAD tomorrow. Tell you more about that tomorrow.